Yo, YouTube fam, this is D Prime. Welcome to the D Prime Show, your source for everything crypto. I came across an exciting article that I read this past weekend entitled Guggenheim's Scott Menard sees Bitcoin falling to 15,000. Is that possible? Let's talk about it. Okay, getting right into it, guys. I came across this article. It said, and I'm reading it from Seeking Alpha. It says Scott Menard, who is the co-founder and global chief investment officer, recently spoke to CNBC, and he says that Bitcoin is going to be falling to about 15,000 from the current price to right around the time of this video. It's trading around 34,000 right now. So can we see it cutting by more than 50%? He says it's possible, but digging into this article, I'm very skeptical of where he's getting his research. If you're not familiar, Scott Menard, a couple months back when Bitcoin was trading right around the 60,000 range, he said it's going to fall to 30,000. Just so happened, it fell to just under. It was trading right around 29,000 last week. So he was right about that. So should we believe him? I'd say take it with a grain of salt. Anybody that is in the crypto markets knows that June is a typical down month for cryptos in general. So it was bound to fall. Another thing, cryptos in general, they are very highly speculative. So he says back in May, it's going to fall to 30,000. It falls. Did it fall because it was going to fall, or was the speculation on top of speculation on top of slightly, I would say, overvalued market? It was all in the typical June downturn. It was bound to fall anyway. I think it was a combination of factors why we're sitting right around 34,000 in Bitcoin right now. But I think this article in general is just pure speculation, because he goes on to say later in the article that per the Guggenheim research, Bitcoin can be valued at anywhere between 400,000 and 600,000 if it becomes store value like gold. Well, which one is it, Scott? Is it going to be 15,000 or is it going to be 600,000? That's a wide range, right? That's like saying it could be anything, right? So should we really trust it? Well, who is Scott Menard? Scott Menard is the co-founder and chief investment officer at Guggenheim Investments. Guggenheim Investments is one of those old guard investment firms. They have about 315 billion with a B assets under management. So they are the typical stock market firm. They bring in clients' money from different funds and personal accounts, and they invest those funds in order to make money for their clients. So what about $315 billion under management? If you had enough valuable research that you could accurately predict that Bitcoin would halve in value over and over again, you would think that they would have a short position that matches their research. But as far as I can tell, all the research that I made, nobody has a short position on Bitcoin that great. And their assets under management have not increased. So who do you believe? Well, always follow the money. If you were that confident in that you could accurately predict time in and time out the actual value of Bitcoin, then you would think you would put your money where your mouth is, and you would see your assets under management increase to match a short position that you should have had on it. So you don't really believe it. It's speculative. You're just throwing out information and you're hoping it sticks. You were right last time. But that could be in like a number of factors of why you ended up being right about that. So I would take it with a grain of salt. I don't think that currently, just based on everything that I've read and everything that I've researched, that it's possible to even accurately predict where Bitcoin is going to go. I think the truth lies in the middle. Is it going to go to 15,000 or is it going to go to 100,000 or 600,000? I think truth lies somewhere in the middle. And I think this year we could possibly see a 6-figure Bitcoin value. Everybody that's in crypto knows right now is the exact time where where we're in this downturn, where you need, if you have the funds available, to consolidate. Get as much as you can. You buy the dips and you sell. If you make enough, then you sell at the highs. You always buy the dips. So this is where the old guard, they want to push the price down. So I take everything that they say with a grain of salt, because I've seen these articles popping up everywhere. Bitcoin going to 15,000. Maybe. I doubt it. And I doubt if anybody could accurately predict that they would not have a short position that matched that, assessment that they made. And there's no short position in Bitcoin coming close to that right now. So I say ignore the noise right now. Believe in it now, because we are in a transformative time, just in finance in general, right? We've seen this happen, in the world several times, right? So the first I would say is that the whole gold rush, right? Where everybody, common people became overnight, wealthy, just, the California gold rush and all that. And then we had oil, which was followed closely behind that. And then after that, the next real boom was the whole, .com of the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. We had the whole .com boom where those old guard in the stock market, they couldn't understand where all these firms were coming from, and you were having instant overnight millionaires coming from nowhere. And that's the same thing with crypto, right? So this is that new next boom, and we're still early because Bitcoin was first, but there's so many different other coins out there, and people are becoming overnight success stories without that much capital, invested. So if you can get in at its infancy stage, is where we currently still are, because right now, according to CoinMarketCap, the whole crypto market is sitting at about $1.37 trillion as of today. That's, relatively speaking, if you compare it to all other, like currencies, it's very low, and it has the potential to skyrocket, and I believe it will. So guys like Scott Menard is a genius person. I did some research on him. A-class, great, from everything that I've seen, very intelligent person. But like I said, he's still part of that old guard, right? So back, if you guys are old enough to remember, or if you were around long enough, in the .com era, like the whole stock market, the old guard then, they didn't believe that .com era was here to stay. They believed that those tech companies that had crazy valuations were going to just go away, but that didn't happen. Right now, we see Apple. Look at their value. Look at Netflix. These are those tech companies that nobody thought were going to have a value like they do. Look at Tesla. Look at all these companies that everybody said were going to go away, those old guard, because they didn't know how to control. They didn't understand those markets. They didn't know how to control them, and so they hope that they would just go away. Because what does the old guard want more than anything? They want to be in control. They understand the stock market, and they also understand that you, the small investor, don't have as much control in the stock market. That's why they do so well. They all control the markets, right? The crypto market in general, yeah, the big guys, they still have a lot of more control than a small guy, but not as much. You have a lot of control over the market. You little investor, You person who's sitting with maybe just a couple Bitcoin, or maybe you got a few thousand in Doge, or maybe you got a few thousand in, Ethereum, or whatever the coin is, you guys are in control and they don't like it. Or you have more control than they like you to have. So they want to get more, they want to seize more. So they come out with these headlines of, oh, the whole, these cryptos are worthless, invest in the stock market. They want you to invest in the stock market. They don't want you to invest in crypto because they don't have as much control over that market and they don't understand it. So please take everything that they say with a grain of salt, because they're trying to lower that price so they can buy low. So they can scare all the small investors out. They can buy low, and then they can have bigger control over the market. Don't fall for it. Right now, we are in a consolidation phase. Buy if you can afford to. Again, take it with a grain of salt. I do. All the research I made shows that we are in that typical June downturn. And when we come back up, sort of July, August, going into the fall, prices are going to skyrocket and people are gonna be made whole. And that's when you're gonna start seeing those 10x, those 100x, 1000x returns on certain coins. Please pay attention, because the next few months is gonna set up where we're gonna go from 2022 and beyond. Keep that in mind. So another one of the things that I wanted to touch on really quickly in this video is why crypto is different than the traditional in stock market. So I see this coming out a lot, right? I see it from the Motley Fool. I see it from CNBC, MSNBC. I see all these articles everywhere that try to compare the crypto market to a traditional investment, say like a Ford or like a GE, or those typical stock market companies, and they're comparing the market caps for these companies to cryptocurrencies, which doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, for one, because crypto is not stock. It is currency. And so you can't really compare the market cap for crypto to a company, because it's not a company. It's a currency. Nobody owns Bitcoin. No singular entity owns Bitcoin or Doge or any other popular, crypto that's out right now. You, the people, do. And the market is a more free and more open market. That's what they don't like. That's why they try to scare you with all these tactics. So don't ever hear, or whenever you see it, don't ever believe the hype when they say there's no way that Bitcoin can go to 600,000 or a million. It could. It's no reason why it can't. The only reason why it can't, because they're going to hold it down by scaring you to get out of it. So don't believe it. It's more apt to compare a coin like Bitcoin to, let's say, gold. That is way more comparable. You would never compare a company to a currency. So don't ever compare Bitcoin to, say, an Apple or a Tesla, because that comparison makes no sense. A better comparison, gold. So gold currently has about $11 trillion market cap right now. Compare that with the entire crypto market, which is sitting at about 1.37 trillion right now, according to CoinDesk. So $11 trillion gold market, $1.37 trillion entire crypto market. I believe that crypto can usurp the whole entire gold market in a couple years. And if it does, think about how much additional funds that put into regular people's pocket. You're gonna see those millionaires created overnight. It's gonna happen. And right now you see the old guard trying everything they can to stand in your way. Don't believe the hype, okay? Trust in the process and trust in, basically follow the money and trust that, basically. Follow the money and trust that. Because if they believed what they are telling you, their money would match what they're saying. If If it doesn't, don't believe it. Again, just like with any in investments, it's a lot of risk involved. So never ever put in more than you can afford to lose, because it's possible. Could the entire crypto market go to 10 trillion next year? Yes. Could it go to a few billion? That's also possible. What's more likely? Something in the middle. The truth always lies somewhere in the middle. Again, I am not advocating for just complete everyone to go crazy and pour all their funds into the crypto markets. I believe that people should take a measured approach to the markets in general and invest the amount of money that you can afford to invest, and I believe it will pay out for you. I am not a financial analyst, and this is not a financial advice. So if you have any questions about your own personal financial situation, please contact the financial advisor for a more deep dive into your particular situation. But I'm here to give you a more common sense approach to all the information that we're getting, because it's a ton of it, and I want to make sure that you have the right information kind of going forward. Okay, this is my very first video in the series. If you like any of the information that I put out, please like and subscribe below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.